Salutations, boys and girls, and kiddos of all ages. Welcome to another video of posing action figures with Toy the Poser, and I am your host, Toy the Poser. And to all my viewers of old and new, I would like to say, Happy Batman Day! Or belated Batman Day, because even though Batman was first appeared in Detective Comics back in May of 1939 in issue number 27, DC Comics and Warner Brothers decided to celebrate I think it was the 20th, the 40th year anniversary, Hold on. Let me think. I'll figure it out later. But DC Comics and Warner Brothers decided to make a day celebrating the Cape Crusader. So the original Batman Day was on at the 2014 San Diego Comic Con. That's when DC and Warner Brothers wanted to celebrate the 75th anniversary of Batman. Ha! I knew I'd figure it out. Anyway, as time went on, dates changed, and so did the actual date of Batman Day, or the actual day of Batman Day, and month. The month changed too. The actual date and month changed for Batman Day. So, as it currently stands, in the year that we're in now, 2025, September 20th is the new official Batman Day. We'll see just how it goes until next year of 2026. Let's see if they change it again. But no matter, as it currently stands, right now you're watching a video, which means that at this moment, today is Batman Day. Whoop! And this is how I plan on celebrating today's Batman Day with you guys, by showing you everything that I have related to the Cape Crusader, with a brief little explanation of why I have them. But behind the camera, I go into giant mode. Whoop! All right, so last year, August 28th in 2024, just in case you don't, whenever you guys are watching this video, AMC movie theaters made a promotional, released a promotional popcorn bucket to celebrate the 85th anniversary of Batman. And I was supposed to do a little review on it, or, just like a short video on it. But I came up with another idea for it. And yes, it does work. I just can't show it right now. I'll try to show it later that it works. So let me see something. Nah, that ain't gonna help you. Yeah, well, I'll show you that it works later. I'll try to remember that. But yeah, so anyway, it's the bat signal. Some reviewers think it was kind of too big for the bat signal for a 1/12 scale, because most collectors like myself mostly collect 1/12, or the McFarlane DC Direct, or whatever you want to call them, the McFarlane figures, DC Multiverse, whatever, action figures. I actually have some, and there's a reason why. But yeah, so Of course, when I saw this, I wanted it because Damian Wayne's the Robin, the new Robin or current Robin, or I don't know at the moment, but it's actually my favorite DC character. I just think he's so far the best character in DC Comics, and with the best storyline and so on and so forth, and a great additive to the Bat family anyway. But yes, so the ever since then I've been a Damian Wayne's fanboy. And yeah, this one, I guess the grayscale version of him or something like that, was actually the very first Damian Wayne action figure that I had. And however, I don't have him right now no more for fodder reasons, because I'll explain later, but just for that reasons right now, and to also explain this, that all right, I was gonna just go in that order, like how I got the action figures and so on and so forth, and the reason why, because when I had this Damian Wayne action figure, I was gonna, he was actually posed on the back signal. Then I just thought to myself, I don't know why, but I was like, you know what I should do? Because I really don't collect more McFarlane action figures that much at all. I'm mainly of course, Marvel Legends guy, but that's neither here nor there. But I was like, you know what I should do? I should, after I've got the back signal, I was like, I should make like a little diorama. And he just seemed very alone up there by himself. So I thought to myself, how about I just get all the Robins, every character that played Robin, and in the traditional Robin, in their Robin outfits. Then once because of my basic knowledge of Batman comics, I realized that the Bat family goes pretty deep. So I decided to do this. And with that being said, I'm going to explain the Robins, the history, brief little history as I unbox them and stuff like that. And yeah, because just to say, because this isn't my main source of collection, I didn't really want to pay full price on, so I was looking for them on an aftermarket, second market, whatever. So basically I was trying to find discounts of the versions of these characters, and was hoping that I could get as close to the original looks as possible at a decent price. So it starts here. Okay, so the first Robin was Dick Grayson. And he first appeared in Detective Comics number 38 back in 1940, April of 1940. And not to put too fine of a point on it, Dick Grayson later grows up and becomes the superhero Nightwing. And that's where we'll start. And as I said before, because I was looking for discounts and all of that, and this was the cheapest Nightwing I could find at the time, version of him in the so this costume is his costume that he's in now is probably not as tradition. I don't know which I'm assuming that it's from the Gotham Knights video game. I'm assuming. I don't know. But yeah, so it was I got it at a discount, of course. And by discount, these things are originally was like a at the time was like $27 or something. So I got it for less than that. so yeah. So and that's how all of them go. They was less than what they were retail for. So just to, you know, magical poof him out of us. All right, so I can probably move the camera back up a bit because Jesus, dark in here. Man, I'm trying, guys. I'm gonna get more lighting. I promise. All right, let's just move the camera up a bit. All right, and adjust it. Okay. How's that? I hope good enough. Yeah, this is gonna be wild. All right. Cause this I'm doing a lot of figures in this one video. Anywho. So Dick Grayson, all right, as Nightwing, or in this costume as that. So the very first Boy Wonder, and it is some, from what I hear, some storyline that says Batman was the first Robin, but you know they always make alternate stories and stuff like that. One of his weapons is batons, billy clubs, or whatever you call them, wherever you at. They connect back here some way, somehow, and like I said, I'm cold posing. Heat up your action figures when you open them out of the package, because yeah, it helps. Okay, so yes, this is not his original costume, as I stated before. Oh, good God, he's frozen. Uh-oh. Crap, it's frozen. I gotta heat him up, so I can't. His arm is frozen, so I got to heat that up. But it does supposed to swivel. So okay, and I'm gonna try to pose all these guys to my best ability, or at least a little. Probably not a whole lot of big dynamic posing for it, because yeah. Can he hold these billy clubs to him? Why, yes, he can. Okay, so let me see if I can get something for you guys before we move on. That is the most Disco Inferno pose. Whew. That scared the that scared the bejeebus out of me. I'm trying not to curse. I'm known for doing a lot of cursing. Well, not on here, but I'm trying not to curse. But yeah, luckily, believe it or not, if you're a kit basher, fodder, customizer, or stuff like that, McFarlane Toys, I find quite easy to, take. That's why I've never been never hated on pinless joints and stuff like that. But McFarlane's action figures, or at least these are really easy to break down, swap parts out, and all of that. And I'll show you what I mean in one of the other figures I got. But okay, let me see what kind of, because he has toe articulation on it. But I want to put him in something. Oh, let's just put him in your regular museum pose. Good God, the arm is frozen, so I can't really. Okay. Let's just get him in a quick museum pose, and put them by the side there. All right, so Batman's first right-hand man, who's all grown up now. Dick Grayson as Nightwing. So yeah, I mean, the reason I didn't get the original Robin costumes or something like that, one, because like I said, I was going on a budget, and two, I don't know, I just had a change of heart when I decided to do things this way. All right, so there you have it. This, once again, you guys know that this is not your average toy review channel. This isn't. I didn't say that in the first time, but yeah. So there we are. The first Robin, Dick Grayson, aka, or also currently known as Nightwing. So the next up is the next Robin. In 1986, in issue 401 of Batman, the second Robin was, pardon me, the second Boy Wonder, which was Jason Todd, appeared in Batman number 357 back in 1983. That's the first time you see him as Jason Todd. The first time you see him as Robin, Batman number 368 in 1984. All right, that's the first time Jason Todd put on the Robin costume. And after he was no longer Robin, for a very sad reason that involved the Joker and a crowbar. And if you don't know, I don't want to spoil it for you, but he later on becomes, in Batman number 635 in like around 2005 or 6 or something like that, that's when he becomes the Red Hood. And yeah, so, but that's the first time you see him as the Red Hood. But he changed his costume after that multiple times. So he looks closer to this now. Okay. Okay, another adjustment. All right. Move the camera back. These boxes are a lot bigger than I thought they were. Okay. So yeah. Jason Todd's the Red Hood. He looks really cool as the Red Hood. Or be honest with you, like I said before, the Red Hood becomes different characters, stuff like that. Jason Todd was one of them. But like I say, go read the story. I don't want to get too much involved in it. And oh look, a crowbar. Yeah. So Magical poof him out of this box. So there was there was a version of that they made of him with a motorcycle, and I thought it was cool. But as I said before, wasn't trying to spend a whole lot on McFarlane figures, especially if I only wanted certain ones. So anyway, Magical poof. All right, so yeah. Here's Jason Todd as the Red Hood in his all black leather and boots. And I think this is a cool costume. All right, Jason, don't get stiff on me. I'm taking these guys straight out the package, but I'm not doing a whole lot of super duper extreme posing with them anyway. At least I wasn't planning on it, just to get through this video. But I mean, I don't know. It's just the me in me that doesn't want, that don't just want to do, a straight up and down museum pose, but of all these characters. But yeah, let's go here. All right. Now, To be honest with you, I kind of went out of order, and I'll catch back up in a second. So, but Jason Todd usually have guns, and since Batman doesn't use guns when he was a Robin, he didn't use it. But like I said, his storyline does involve a crowbar and the Joker. So let's put the crowbar in his hand, but he doesn't. The crowbar is not his weapon of choice. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm not trying to. So yeah, tragic story. What happened to young Jason? Go look it up. It's a good story to find, but there's young Jason for you, and we're gonna put him here. All right. Don't ask me why, but why not? Okay. So like I said, I kind of went out of order, I think, but because actually the second kind of sort of sidekick before Jason, I think, was in issue 233, 233 of Detective Comics. Kathy Kane was the very first Batwoman in 1956. And unless I'm totally mistaken, I have yet to find or ever see a Kathy Kane original Batwoman action figure. Especially in the McFarlane toy line, and it's a strong possibility that it might not get made because McFarlane will lose the license, not yet, but won't have the licensing to make more DC characters anymore. But in 2011, DC made a new Batwoman, same name, Kathy Kane. Why? I don't know. I actually think she's supposed to be somehow related or something to the original Kathy Kane. But I found something weird about this is that, like I say, I don't know. I only know the surface level of like Batman lore and all of that. But for some odd reason, it seemed like they was really trying to sell you the fact that this Batwoman is lesbian. Go figure. But McFarlane did make a Kathy Kane action figure, the new one, not the old one, not the original one. And I have not found her. Plus, she came in like a 3-pack with Clayface, which was a really cool Clayface action figure. But and then on top of that, for this actual scene that I'm trying to make, I actually just wanted the quote unquote Bat family. And Batwoman isn't technically in the Bat family. She's actually a solo act, kind of, sort of. So that's why I don't have it right now. But I'm actually debating on if I should rethink this, because back to 1961, Betty Kane, the original Batwoman, Kathy Kane, the original Batwoman, trained her niece Betty Kane to become the new and first Batgirl. And although there aren't any McFarlane toys create versions of Batgirl and Batwoman, DC Direct did, I think, like back in 2004 or something like that, did make a some action figures of Batgirl and Batwoman that came with, I think, a little figure of Batmite and Ace the Bat Hound. At this point, they kind of, a little too rich for my blood to look out for, especially for just to put in this display. And oh, come on, fix. Okay, the articulation on them isn't really all that great. Look like it got like about 2, 4, 6, 8, maybe 7 points of articulation on them. Anywho, but yeah, it's one of those, to me, I think one of those in package keeping just for nostalgia version reasons. I don't action figures. I don't know, but yeah. So this is basically why I don't have the original Batgirl and Batwoman in this collection right now. But as I was saying, when the fact of going out of order, because they were both in the 60s. In issue 359 in 1967, the second Batgirl came, and which is Barbara Gordon, and yes, she does have an action figure. That's too close. I got that. Okay, let's try it that way. All right. She does come with an action. Toddy Boy did make an action figure. All right. So McFarlane Toys did make an original costume, second version of second Batgirl, first version of Barbara Gordon. Yeah, and like I said, not to get put too fine of a point on it, let's just magical poof her out of here and just pose up and get this show on the road. So magical poof. Okay, so as I said, she pretty much original costume, nothing new, not getting into a whole lot into the McFarlane action figures are all pretty much the same for the most part when it comes to articulation, which I kind of like. There's a lot of things I don't like about the articulation, but that's neither here nor there right now, because we're trying to do stuff, basically. Okay, she has a bat grappling gun. Okay, and I'm assuming that. And as I was saying, as I put her into a cold pose, when it comes to the Kane family, the original Batwoman and the first Batgirl before Barbara here, and even the ow crap, she snagged me. Even the what really would you go in? It is hard to get this gun in our hand. Oh, come on. Okay, it's kind of tough, but it finally, I'm assuming that's the right way, because this is weird. I mean, maybe I did it wrong, because I don't know if you can see that or not, but it looked like that's the trigger. But this part up here is longer, making it look like it's the handle. With all that other stuff at the top, for some odd reason, she looked like she's holding it right with that, like that. But at the top, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but it looked like that's the trigger of the gun. And all of that stuff is, it looked like that's just how it's supposed to go. I guess we got to try it the other way. But, and maybe that was why it was so, yeah, because it went in a hell of a lot easier. Maybe that's why it was so tough to get it in her hand. Huh. How about that? I don't know. It just looks weird that way. But who cares? You play with your toys however you see fit. Yeah, I don't know. There's just something about it that just don't sit right with me. So let's. Okay, maybe this is the deal. Here, there we go. That's how it's supposed to go. And her trigger finger is supposed to be on the. There we go. All right. I knew I wasn't a. There we go. Now that looks better. Okay, I knew I wasn't a complete idiot, but okay. and of course and I broke her, kind of, sort of. Once again, like I say, you can kind of. That's okay. But you can kind of pop them back into place. When it comes to McFarlane Field, when you make these type of little itty bitty mistakes. So just I'm gonna try to do this on screen, but there we go. Just whammo, pop it right back into place. See, and that's, I love it when it's that forgiving. Okay, and I'm that lucky. Anyway, cold poser. Okay. What kind of? I mean, like I said, I was trying to make this easy on myself because I don't have I don't have enough stands to go around. Two, which I wish. I mean, some McFarlane toys do come with, well, they got pigs. I should probably and see, you can, they can pivot. They do have an ankle pivot, but you kind of have to, twist that little ball, ankle ball, or whatever it's called, or whatever you want to call it, into it. So cold. Oh my goodness. Why is the leg so kind of? What's the deal there, Barbara? Okay, let's put let's see if, went in a little better than or was smoother than I thought, but okay. Oh, all right. Barbara, and she was in the Bat family before Jason was, so yeah. Now that we're back on track. Okay. That's Barbara Gordon, the commissioner's daughter. Head can only go so far. Yeah, that was better. That looked better than I thought it did. Okay, I'm gonna tuck her in back there. All right. I knew she was gonna fall. I was trying to tuck her in back there so she wouldn't fall. But come on, you can do it. Let's see. There we go. Barbara. All right. And next next up that joined the Bat family is, and now since we're back in the 80s and back to fix Jason Todd's first appearance as Red Hood, we also found out in the 80s, in 1987 to be exact, in Batman Son of the Demon, old Bruce Wayne had a actual biological son, and although he was just named in it, you actually didn't. I don't think they actually showed a picture of him. At least I couldn't find anyone. So, but I just wanted to put that in the note because we'll talk about him later. Because in the 80s, in 1986, in an issue of Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, it was basically an alternate universe. Batman, who was still Bruce Wayne, ended up with another sidekick, and it was female, and it was Carrie Kelly. All right, and yes, she has an action figure. Okay, and once again, and this is actually a bigger box because it had a build a figure piece that came with it, and yeah, build a horse. And yes, I have the horse. I didn't bring it out. Maybe I'll get it later when I wrap this up a bit, and we'll talk about that later. But yeah, so that's why it's a whole lot of space here, because I opened it up already to get the Build-A-Figure piece out. But as we do now, we magical poof her out. Okay, and here we go. She doesn't have a whole lot going on for herself. And Carrie, yeah, she has a slingshot. She fights with a slingshot. Okay, and this little thing is kind of wide for her hand, but it seems. But I guess that helps with the grip. Not really. But and can't really put her in a, because she don't have any butterfly joints or nothing, so I can't really put her any more of a pose. And she's kind of small. I think she'll be the smallest figure out of all of them. But that's Carrie out. Good. Ooh. Does she have a, nope. Does she have a swivel? I'll be surprised if she didn't, but I mean a waist swivel. Because usually all McFarlane figures are kind of the same. She does. Unless I broke something. Okay, so has a little pivot there. Gonna kick your arm out. I don't know what kind of pose this. Let's get it in a, That almost look like it makes sense. She. Whew. And okay, she is too stiff for me to really put torque. So yeah, there we go. Okay. There's Kelly. Technically the third Robin. Technically. Okay. And we'll put Kelly here for the time being. I mean, who knows? It might come out different later. All right. Moving right along. And after 1986 comes 1989. And in 1989 was Batman Year 3, number 436. And that's when we saw the first appearance of Tim Drake as the new Robin. And yeah, but this Robin ends up becoming Red Robin. And I guess this is like what they call the new 52 version of him. And although he wasn't the actual first Red Robin, I think Dick Grayson was also Red Robin at one point in time. But currently it's Tim Drake. And yes, this version has an action figure. Here he is in plastic form. Back. There we go. Okay. And what more can I say about Red Robin here is, for some odd reason, that's the best back of the package I have seen so far. Why it looks like that, I don't know. But yeah, get him out of here. Magical poof. Okay, that was awkward, but all right. So Timmy boy here has wings. Okay, how about that? And yeah, so like I said, you guys got to forgive me on this one because did not read a lot of New 52 or none at all. Don't know the whole meaning or reason why he has wings. He always had a staff, from my understanding. And to be honest with you, although I would sure, bring back out the monitor and show you the first Robin that I ever actually had, which was the Tim Drake version of it. And before DC, I mean McFarlane and all that. Here, let me show you what I meant. Here we go. Fix the 2003 DC Universe Battle Boy Robin. It was basically Tim. So, and I need to fix that. At the time, the figure was actually pretty good for what it was. But yeah, now that action figures have come a long way, I gave this to my Patch brother. So, along with the Batman that I had at the time. But I actually really like this Robin. I think I kept the battle board, to tell you the truth. I don't know. I have to go see. It was somewhere in my bit box, but we'll see. Anyway, back to the Red Robin, Tim. Okay, and what? How should I pose it? I mean, you have wings, so and a staff, sir. So okay, we're gonna try to maneuver staff in hand because he really don't hold it well. Gonna do it this way. I suppose. What? Well, okay, we know he has wings, so I mean I'm not gonna take up a whole lot of space with the wings. So we're gonna, since he's grounded, since he'll be grounded, I'll keep wings inward. Okay, so we're gonna put him behind or beside or of Kelly. There. There we go. This is starting to get a little tight. Kelly, okay. All right. And that was technically the fourth Robin. Not counting, of course, not counting Batgirl. So that means, and that was in 89. So the next Robin after that was, well, it's not a Robin at all. It's actually Terry McGinnis, the Batman Beyond. And his first appearance was in January of 1999 on the animated series Batman Beyond, Rebirth. So he wasn't even first-ish appeared in a comic. So yeah. And actually you can really pay no attention to the box this time because I bought him secondhand, and this box is basically from another version of that Dark Knight Return, and it was the black and white or grayscale issue of him, as you can tell by the hands. But regardless of the fact, that's just magical poof. So yeah, and he didn't. Well, like I said, he can't. What was it? I bought him loose. Secondhand. I can't remember if it was off eBay or what. I don't know. He has wings too, of course. But what? That's pretty much it. Terry McGinnis. His timeline takes place in like the future. I think in the, hold on, let me see. Well, I tried to find if it actually gave like a timeline or date or year his future take place, but it doesn't. I couldn't find nothing. So anybody that know, let me know. But yeah, he's basically the new Batman in his future, because even being trained and taught by Bruce Wayne, that has gotten older, an old man now. Terry is the new man, fighting crime in Gotham. So that, I mean, that's pretty much the gist of it, I guess. I think he was a clone actually of Bruce Wayne, made by Amanda Waller, if I'm not mistaken. I'm it's been a minute since I watched the animated series, and because it was back in the late 1999 and early 2000s. So for the 99s and 2000s, as the rapper Juvenile would say. Okay, so I was gonna try to like pose him on top of the thing, the actual bat signal up there, but I'm like, I don't remember. This video's running long enough, so let me. And besides, everybody is kind of getting kind of crowded anyway. But I did kind of want to flare out his wings, although he doesn't wear them like this, and then they kind of like technically attaches. It's like he clips his side and they really attach there. So really, if he's not using them in flight, these things should and could and would are supposed to be able to come out. Okay. Oh, I don't want to break my used toy. and to be honest with you, I think I got the wings separate, because when I bought the figure, I think he was wingless, and I had to find somebody else that was selling the wings separate. Okay, it's gonna come out, I can see, but let me see. Hold on. Okay, I couldn't get it. I tried something slick, but it wouldn't work. So I got to heat it up and take them out. But if I want to take them out, but anywho, he's kind of dark, so he's kind of dark. I mean, he's in all black, so I kind of been weird to put him up on the so he's gonna get a straight up vanilla pose, Can I at least cross his arms, make him look like he's aura farming? Nah. Okay, that's we got him there. Okay, so that's Terry. All right, that was back in 2099. So since we on a that kick, we got next from also 2020 1999 to early 2000, the Sandra Kane Batgirl. Once again, no box because I bought a second hand, and she actually came with a stand. Don't ask me why the rest of them didn't, but that's cool with me. and her little grappling gun, but that's already, and yeah, because she didn't have a box. All right, and I don't stand. She was pretty much already pre-posed, and I don't know why I took her out of that pre-pose. You know, to do all of this, but can I just put her back in the pose? That I had her in? Or whatever. So, yeah. Oh, and I really love this one because she had a cloth cape, and it was wired. And this is my very first action figure that had soft goods, to my knowledge. Well, a wired cape, I should say. I've had action figures with soft goods, and I usually didn't like that because the soft goods on them kind of sucked. It made it look like the clothes were too big for them. And I'm gonna need a elevator, something to elevate her a little bit because she got a lot going on. So let me see if I can find something to elevate her. Well, let me see. What does she look like just back there? Well, she's still out of frame. How about that? That's not too bad, is it? Because we got a whole lot more people coming. Okay, we'll see how that works for a minute. We'll check it out later because, oh, man, if you guys want some visuals, hold on. In July of 1999, Cassandra Cain was first appeared in Batman, what was it, 567, all right? So, yeah, whoop. Remember back in 86 in Batman, was it 86 or 89? Anyway, back in the 80s, late 80s, Batman, Son of the Demon, we found out that Batman had a biological son with Tasha Al Ghul, all right? And that son was the best character in DC Comics. That's Damian Wayans, and who first appeared in, I guess, as Robin, in the Robin costume or whatever. Because I think he was just on the last 2 pages when you actually first see him. And Batman 655. And that was like in 2006. So, and like I said before, my favorite Robin, and pretty much the all-around reason I started collecting. I guess I gave two craps about the I guess McFarlane action figures. Not to say that they're bad. It was just that it came around at a time that I, was downsizing my collection and actually pretty much only collecting certain things, being a niche collector. So that's why. So yeah, and due to the fact that they weren't in 1/12 scale, they're in all these. This line was in 1/10 scale. Hence the reason. That's the reason why I stopped. So Magical Poof, I'm out of here. Magical Poof, and just in case anybody gets confused or notice something wrong here about why my Robin looks like this, or this Damian Wayne Robins look like this. If you ever see other videos of toy review channels and stuff like that, it's because basically he's a kit bash. Long story short, as I told you before, the very first one I had was the all grayscale one of Damian. Then that I was actually gonna paint. Then I got the zombie version of Damian were on sale at Walmart. So I thought, well, that's basically half the job done for me. So I took him and just switched out the head. So I actually had a grayscale head. Then, of course, never got around to it. Then I found a collector or somebody that was selling bit parts, and he had the head, actual Damian Wayne's head. So that's why he looks. I mean, if you, he looks slightly different than, you know, the than what he originally supposed to look like. So, and he was, you know, I really, you know, was posing him around, stuff like that. So he shouldn't be so hard. Because, I mean, I had him in all kind of poses before I put him in the box to move around. So, and so he might be kind of loose. Or was it this one? Oh, it was the other one I had posed around like that. Okay. So, yeah. So yeah, well, in that case, then this one might not be so easy to pose. All right. That he had multiple hands, and the reason why, that's another reason why I didn't really bring out all the other accessories, because it was just one, other hands, and two, wasn't really, you know, what it's supposed to be. Okay, you see how easy he comes apart? That's another thing about McFarlane figure. Oh, you can actually, I don't know if you can or not, but actually see the gray scale version of him, because that originally supposed to be black. But anyway, like I said, let's see if I can snap it back in, but I didn't hear a snap. Okay, I'm about to say, I was like, it felt like it went in, but I didn't hear an actual snap. There we go. Okay. So, and like I said, I mean, actually, really, oh, come on. Okay, okay, and because I'm kind of vanilla posing everybody right now, we got it. Good. And yes, that sword has always been wobbly like that. So, okay, there we go. Should I? Yeah, that's fine. All right. He has like a little power stance going. All right, and that was, you know, according to timeline, actual timeline, this is, or creation timelines, I should say, Damian Wayne's was the next additive to the Bat family at this point in time. And good thing they did, cause man, He is the best. Loves me some Damian Wayans. All right. So there we go. And yeah, so at this point now, we go to the next person that's, once again, technically not in the quote-unquote Bat family, as you say, but I'll show you what I mean. Okay. Hold on. Let me straighten this out. All right. In 2011, there was a story that called Flashpoint, where the Flash wakes up in a different timeline, or a different timeline where things, were different from his own original timeline. Where his mother is still alive, and things were different, like the Batman storyline. And if you don't know by now, if you're new here, Batman is a character where his parents were murdered by a criminal, all right, that turned him into a crime-fighting vigilante. Well, in this storyline of Flashpoint, let me see that. It wasn't Batman. Bruce Wayne died. His parents died. Well, his father, Thomas Wayne, survived, and his son, Bruce, had died from this one. Now, I know you see here that the woman, his mother, is down too, but she actually survived, right? And I think she became this, if I remember the story correctly, I believe she became this this timeline's version's Joker after the tragedy. So, yeah. So, Bruce Wayne's father, Thomas Wayne, became Batman. And, of course, you heard of the Batman that laughs. Well, I call Thomas Wayne the Batman that'll shoot you. And the reason why is because, well, here's the box. We'll get them out. In the box, and yes, it says unmasked version, because the masked version, I think, came in a 2-pack, and he cost more for some reason. I can't remember the reason why. So I had to get the unmasked version because it was cheaper. So let's get them out of here. Magical poof. Okay, and as you can see here, he's been kit bashed. Well, basically, you know that the Bruce Wayne figure that I have to show the magic guns off. Well, this is actually the head that comes with it. There we go. I'm about to say why. All right, that's the actual head that comes on this actual figure. And he has, that's a separate piece. It slides off when his cowl is off, and there you go. He's unmasked. And the reason why I wanted this one, did that, because the Batman, Return of the Dark Knight Batman, has a scowl on his face, and I kind of wanted the Batman that'll shoot you to be a little bit more angrier. And the reason I call him the Batman that'll shoot you, because we all know that, or if you don't know that, Batman's moral code is that he doesn't use guns, actual firearms. But his father, Thomas Wayne, and the red hood for Jason. I'm seem to have no problem with it. All right. So yeah, he comes with two, I don't know what type of guns, but they're two guns that fits in his holster quite nicely. Or at least I thought it did, because this is my first time taking them out of the package. But come here, you. All right, get inside. There. Finish out the holster, just fine. All right. And that the reason why he comes with a sword, and I'm not going to display it on him here because it was part of the plot line of the Flashpoint story. Not, so I don't know. I don't want any spoilers. I'll give you guys any spoilers of why, if you haven't read it. If anybody want to tell them in the comments that no, feel free. But yeah. And if you don't know and you don't read the comments, but section, okay. But anyway, yeah, that was a reason why this sword is here. He doesn't really need or have or carry a sword. He just carry his two guns, and that's it. So yeah, that's why I call him the Batman that'll shoot you. Okay. All right. So, and I think that's as good as that right there. And although it's Batman Day, this is actually not the Batman we are basically celebrating here. So, and that Batman never had any Robins, to help him. So far, this is the lineup, but that's not all. All right, guys. So because there's more. Because in 2013, in Batman issue 21, is when we get our first glimpse at young Duke Thomas, who later on becomes the hero, the Signal. But actually, before he became the Signal, he was running around with another gang of youngsters in Gotham City, calling themselves the Robins, because they was basically, I guess, fanboying over Batman's sidekick, Robin. All right, so during this time, I think Batman was missing. It was something, I can't fully remember the story. I didn't ever read it. I just, heard snippets of it. But yeah, something about Batman was missing. And the actual Robins at the time were fighting the crime, and the kids that knew this, or the brave ones were basically helping. I guess that's the gist of it. Anyway, but in this, this version of him is the version of Duke Thomas that I wanted. So because he was so expensive, this was the only version that they have him. McFarlane Toys didn't make it, for him. But yeah, yeah, and I bought him secondhand, of course. So since he isn't in a box anyway, might as well. No need for magical proof in here. All right, and he came with nunchucks, and I think I just lost some little piece here. Oh, there it is. Good thing I have hardwood floors, because the carpet monster would have definitely eaten that up, whatever it's supposed to be. But I don't know, if some like little flash bomb or something. But of course, He has an alternate head that I'm probably not going to use because I prefer him to look like this. And he got nunchucks, of course. And of course, well, now I just lost it. It just flunk out of my freaking hand. Oh, God. And I'm not going to be able to find it right now. Okay. Well, that sucks. Okay, now I'm pissed. I don't even know what it was. It was some like little bitty thing anyway. So as you can see, he is not that articulated. However, yeah, this is the version I wanted. But however, I am trying to make a Kit Bash me a version of him that's a little bit more articulated. All right, so as you can see, first and foremost, this is what happened to my unpainted version of my Damian Wayne action figures. And I can't remember where all the parts came from so far, but yeah, this, let me see, this is basically what I got here. Okay. So that, yeah, like I said, I can't remember where all the parts came from. The gray stuff came from the gray Damian Wayne's Robin that I had. So that's that. I can't remember. Yeah, but yeah, I think this the body or this top half comes from Marvel Legends. One of those like little goons from the what's it called? The trench not trench coat mafia. What would it call? Tracksuit mafia, which is a ridiculous name. Mafias and tracksuits. Anyway, so yeah, and so basically, this is me trying to recreate Duke. You know, that version of Duke. All right. So just so I can have a more cooler, articulated one and something that can fit more in scale with everybody. But wish me luck. Other than that, yes, Duke Thomas. All right, the Signal, and yes, there is a actual McFarlane version of Duke Thomas as the Signal, but for some odd reason, I just like him in that version better. And I don't even know why, because so far, he is the only person in the Bat family that actually has superpowers. Like, the rest of these guys are just regular human beings with, great fighting skills and gadgets. He can actually has powers. Yeah, Duke is basically a meta-human that can absorb and manipulate both light and darkness. So, yeah, anyway, moving on. Because now I can actually give you a 2-for-1 in this section, because we're going to talk about Batwing. And no, we're not talking about Batman's aircraft. We're talking about in May 2011. Let me fix my here in issue number 5 of Batman Incorporated. We meet David, and he's an African man, so I'm going to screw up this last name. David Zamvimbi. I'm sorry. And I'm just gonna say David. David is the first Batwing. All right, and right after David passed the mantle of Batwing to Lucas Fox. All right, who becomes the second Batwing. And of course, Lucas Fox came a few years later after David in issue 19 of Batwing, because Batwing had its own series going. So anyway, that's why I'm pretty much giving you a 2-for-1 when it comes to David and Lucas that had versions of themselves made. So good looking characters. And all right, yeah, David first. You got him as Batwing and stuff like that. Batman Incorporated, blah blah blah. There's a good picture of David on the back there in his Batwing costume. I don't know why you guys that, and put him to the side for a second. And although this box says Batman, this is actually, you know, what he looked like with Batman Future State. What Lucas looked like in his Batwing costume. So yeah, don't ask me why. This one says, or at least that's what I was told. Hold on. Okay, I completely am wrong, because this is this is Tim Jace Fox, the Future State Batman. So this is the McFarlane Batwing 2.0 version, Lucas Fox. And this is the father of him. All right, so I completely goofed and forgot somebody to add to the Batman family. But, oh well, we'll figure it out later. The show must go on. So let's get these guys out of here. Magical poof. Okay, and David comes with boot thrusters, which I am not gonna be using right now because he's gonna be standing flat-footed. And of course, for his backpack, I guess a back thruster. That's that, but I guess that can stay back there. Also, of course, he has wings, which will be downward because it's taking up too much space. And these are a lot of figures. I was shooting from the hip when I decided to do this video. Just wanted to celebrate Batman Day the best way I know how. And it ended up being kind of stressful. So we're gonna, that's what you get. We're gonna put him to the side right there. We'll then. Okay, don't get all wobbly leg on me. All right. And here's the thing. Okay, will you behave? Are you gonna stand up? kind of crooked. Why are you kind of crooked? Come on, come on. Of course that was going to happen. Okay. You stand back there. Why? Come on, come on. Why is he not standing properly? He's not standing for... What the hell? Oh, McFarlane figures. Gotta love him. Come on. I mean, just a simple standing straight up pose. I guess he power standing in this one. And look at this crap. I gotta fix all these guys. All right. Come on. I guess I should have used the actual stands. Why are you not standing? What the hell is your problem? Okay. Centered. Centered. What the actual hell? Seriously. Okay, off camera. There we go. Now we're talking Junior here. The other, not Lucius Fox, his son. Tim Jace. So I'm gonna call him Jace Fox. Alright. He only came with a battery. Well, it came with alternate hands. It was just fists, but and with him, well, because I thought he was, forget it. I thought he was, of course, Lucas Fox, his father. I bought an alternate head because, which is actually a Green Lantern alternate head. I just wanted an unmasked version of him. So when I got the guy, did I know it was? I'm taking this part out too because it's gonna be hard to take out this right now without heating it up. So I'm gonna do it the easy way. All right. Normally these little neck pegs are the same on them, but we're gonna, all right, let's see if we can successfully do this. Come on, come on. And how would it work? Eureka. And hey, if it don't look too bad if I do say so myself. Okay, so that's all I wanted. I mean, well, because I'm getting frustrated now because for Batman Day, you know, now I can actually let him actually hold this or try to hold it. Well, something like that as an actual helmet. Anyway, all right, so, and he's just going to vanilla pose right now. Just, I hope he stands straight. Nothing really there. So, sorry, I mean, guys, if y'all want to see review, everybody does reviews of these, so it's not like I'm the only one. I'm just, is he standing properly? Yes. So where are we gonna put him? Because this is a wide shot. We taking wide shots here. All right. Okay. So, all right. That's not everybody, because we got one more person. In 2018, in issue number 25 of Batman Beyond, yes, it's a comic at this point, we are introduced to Elena Grayson. Yes, Dick Grayson's daughter, who is now the new and future Batwoman. All right, so let's get the camera right again. Try not to knock down figures, because we got a crowd. And oh my goodness. All right, Batwoman. She's unmasked. I don't even think I've seen a masked version of her, but I could be wrong. So, magical poof out of this, and let's get this party started. Magical poof. Okay, I promise this is the home stretch now. Yeah, Elena, son of Dick Grayson. And her wings are warped, and as you can see, they are the same as Terry McGinnis's back there, the Batman Beyond. So this is, I guess, the Batwoman Beyond. Okay. Doesn't she? I don't think they call it that. I think they just call it Batwoman. But anyway. Okay, and she, just like Terry's wings, they clip in, but also like Terry wings, they're not supposed to just hang. They actually supposed to come out. So come out, and I can't get hers to come out either. So yeah, they're supposed to come out, but anyway. Okay, and she's, as you can see, she's unmasked. But like I said before, I don't think, when I was looking, I never seen a masked version of it anyway. But oh well, there you have it. I wish they would have gave her a flight stand, because they gave her boosters, and I think he also came with boosters too, but I lost them, and she comes with battering. But so much for that. We're just gonna kind of scooch everybody over. Hope nobody falls like that so much. Behave. All right. She's gonna stand right. Is she gonna stand? Come on. We're gonna try to get you to stand. Behave. Come on. Stand for us. As I said before, they do come with like little foot peg stands that I should have. But you know, they are so welded in the box, so I didn't want to get them out. Anyway, there we go. Okay. There you are, the Batman family. Wait a minute. Somebody's missing.
Gotta stand up to all this sin. Gray and blue, gray and blue. The man from Gotham wore the gray and blue, gray and blue. The man from Gotham wore the gray and blue.
All right. Okay. All of that for this moment here. Okay. So, as you can see, what I meant when I was trying to save money, and this box came damaged at a Walmart. One of his hands are missing, but luckily he had alternates. So, magical poof him out of here. Magical poof. All right. And definitely last but not least. All right. The man of the hour. And my God, did this take at least about an hour to make this video. All right. Like I said, he had a missing hand. Taking him out of the package, I think the thing is that I believe somebody got scared. When they was taking him out the package, they probably snatched his hand off and thought they broke him because he was still wrapped in all those rubber bands and stuff. So I know I magical poof him out, but yeah. So, and I don't want to oh, it went on smoother than I thought. Okay, I thought I was gonna have to tap out because I didn't want to heat it up. All right. He has his bat grappling gun. Okay. Okay. Had to push his hand in a little further. That, and he has a battering. You know, so I'm gonna assume that the other hand was another gripping hand because he has an open hand and this fist, which is for his left hand. So yeah, there we go. And all right, home stretch. Can we get Batman to do something Batmanish? Well, not with this cape, not with this hard plastic cape. So I think I'm just gonna just pose him here, and you guys have to believe me when I tell you, cause we've been here too long now at this point. Okay, I think we all want to go home and enjoy our own Batman Day, but they are, good God, okay. I think he's frozen, so I gotta heat him up anyway. So hopefully he'll at least do a straight up and down vanilla museum pose. Okay. Are you gonna stand back? And okay. Come on. What are we doing? Are you gonna stand? I think he's gonna stand. Okay. The cold pose. All right. And yes, he did come with a unmasked alternate head Bruce Wayne, but I am going to leave it here. Okay. Oh man, this is the longest video I've made yet. I hopefully they're not always this tedious. So there you go, everyone. Happy Batman Day. Okay. How many figures was this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Batman makes 14. And there you go. All right. I'm tired. You're tired. And you're probably tired of hearing me talk about being tired. All right. So, yeah. Happy Batman Day. And this year it was on September the 20th. That's all I have to say. I'm out of here, guys. Till the next video. Ciao.